I wanted to write a song that kind of encapsulated the feelings of monotony and stress and hopelessness that people are often left feeling when trying to navigate the modern dating landscape. It started off as like a slow song, like a ballad. It seems most of my songs do, and it was very, very mellow and kind of slow and quiet, and there's this intimate thing. And it was then when I took that rough version into Ian that we developed it into something quite different.
I was inspired by a movie called That Thing You Do. It was that idea of it's a slow love song. And I was like, it's a lot more fun when the drum beat comes behind it and lifts it. So we started to go, let's go down a 60s path and let's make it a bit more playful, a bit more upbeat, and it kind of just snowballed from there. So I get behind the drums initially with Andrew, and I just let him kind of jam out his own music, and we see what type of rhythms come out of it. And then once we establish a rough idea of a rhythm, then I grabbed a bass and we kind of build it up, rhythm section, guitar parts, and then we finally flesh it out with vocals. But this song particularly, the emphasis was on vocals. Once we established the song, a lot of our energy became about the vocal harmonies and how we can make his voice sound really epic on this song.
I started digging in a little bit more, playing a bit more rhythmically, and then the song became this kind of like bouncy, like it wasn't sad anymore. It was all of a sudden like a happy song with maybe some more melancholy undertones, but the lyrics are they're sad in some ways, but the music is very bouncy and upbeat. So doing that really allowed us to create a song that was both emotions.
I don't think there's anything specifically inspired in any way, shape, and form, but I think just the 60s, those type of sounds. So kind of my world came crashing into Andrew's world. I think we got something very unique. Yeah,
and that solo in there, which is now like late 60s, 70s kind of style, and so you have this 80s thing, this 60s, 70s thing, and it's like really blending. Like it's like kind of classic rocky, but it's also got the shoegaze kind of vibe to it. So I think we created something pretty unique here, and just overall like strong melody, relatable lyrics. I think that's what's made this song so successful and resonate with people right now. So these are the three guitars that we used on Fall. So the Strat and the PRS were the rhythm guitars that you hear. The R9 here, Les Paul, beautiful guitar that Ian has, that I was privileged to play on, is what we used for the solo. So again, we were really, really lucky to have Tim Oxford from the Arkells play drums on this track. And he totally nailed the 60s kind of vibe that you were going for. Like Ian came up with the drum part when we were jamming it out, when we were first looking at the song in pre-production.
Tim looked at me and he goes, so what are you thinking? Like, what's the idea? And him being a drummer, I was hoping he would get it, and he did. And I go, I'm Spartacus, which from that movie, there's this thing where the guy takes the shades and goes, I'm Spartacus, and just plays. And I love the fact that that's all I said to Tim. I'm Spartacus. What do you want? Okay. And he just started to play.
Right.
Like, because that allowed him to know exactly what type of groove and feel the song needed.
Right.
And that was a really fun moment on that production where you don't have to even outline stuff with somebody like him,
He just gets it.
He just gets it.
I never put limits on myself as an artist. Like, I know what I like, I know what I'm comfortable in, but, that's part of the reason why I'm not trying to self-produce my own things, and that's why I like to collaborate with other people, and that's why I've grown to really trust Ian's judgment on things and listen to his ideas and see where he wants to take what I bring him basically. And so I'm always very open to experimenting, always open to trying new tones, new ideas, and there's really no limits with me. I'm always up to be creative. I think you have to be as an artist, or else you're just going to end up covering yourself and just creating very narrowly defined music.
When you go and start working with an artist, I'm just thinking, what's the flavor that I'm getting from them? What do I find exciting and tasty about this? And collaborating with Andrew, like you said, there's a lot of trust, and now songwriting together, that relationship's gotten really strong because he trusts me to grab a bass or to pick up a synth or to get behind the drum set.
Yeah, and we just jam it out very organically and just build it from there.
So it's becoming very easy to construct songs because he's coming from his flavors, I'm coming from mine, and we're just kind of cooking it together into something new and fresh, but familiar.
Well, when it came to the music video, there was a video by one of my favorite bands, The Ocean Blue, and it's their video Ballerina Out of Control. And that video I always really, really loved because it's very whimsical. Like it's just very beautiful and dreamy, and the song's amazing as well, and it just suits it really well. So that was one of the videos that really, really inspired what I wanted to do here. Another one which a lot of people pick up on is, of course, This Charming Man by the Smiths. So I loved all the flowers in that video. Like that was just very, very cool to me. So I knew I wanted to implement flowers in some way. I had a bit of an idea to use just white roses because I thought that's a very simple, clean aesthetic. It would look nice in that white room. Yeah, I thought if we just scatter it all over the floor in a very loose kind of way, that could look really romantic and dreamy and would really suit the vibe of the song. So I had that image in my head and I translated it to Matthew, the director of the video, and he kind of helped make that vision come true. But yeah, that was the idea I had in my head, and I think it's amazing how successfully we executed it because it looked pretty much exactly how I had thought it would look. And of course we had the story component in it as well with Francis and Christian, who played the kind of like the love story of the song. And together I think it made a really, really cool, classic, very retro chic, but modern and enjoyable kind of video. So I'm quite happy with it.
When you see